you know.
That used to be respected. I think I agree with you. Like when
there's
people
true journalism,
yeah.
and then you get all these people who it's like bloggers or whatever who want to go on and think they're journalists or whatever, start telling stories and start spreading rumors and try to get people to look at them and like them. It's kind of like podcasters. It's not a serious business. It's a hobby, and let's go in there and bullshit for an hour. And
which is fine. I mean, that's
awesome.
That's absolutely.
But don't ever consider it. I don't know. I guess
a career.
It's not serious.
Yeah.
And I've discovered that from the shows that I've had on.
Right.
That it's like they're not. If you're not going to take this seriously
and
then
show up and do your show,
I don't need you here.
Show up on time and do your show. And
if you want to do it from a couch someplace, I totally respect that.
Sure.
If you want to do it anytime you want, I totally respect that.
At your leisure. Yeah.
That's fine with me. But this is serious. This is a business. This is a step up. That's why I'm trying to separate this whole concept of this being podcast.
Yeah, I hate that word.
And people coming on who are new and going, check out my podcast on the Toad Hop Network. It's like, it's not a fucking podcast. This is a show. This is a show a live show on the internet.
Yeah.
This is a show.
What would I would say
podcast is what you do later on. You want to listen to it not when it's live?
Lovitz does it. Shoemaker does it a lot too, and I love Craig Shoemaker.
But they're old guys.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
but what's interesting
is my new brainy phone. It's a smartphone.
Yeah, I want to say to Craig Shoemaker, who I love, and he has a show called Laugh It Off here on Mondays, as I recall. Mondays, right?
Right after us.
Right, noon to 2. And he'll always say, well, he'll promote, hey, you're going to get the big podcast started. And the thing that frustrates me, I guess, is that number one, you're sort of lessening what you're saying you're doing. I mean, you're doing a show. If you were sitting in a studio at XM, okay, and we have a show on XM on Wednesday nights. If you were sitting in the studio at XM doing a live show, would you be promoting that you're going to have a podcast at 6 o'clock on XM? No, you wouldn't. You'd say show. So I don't really understand. I don't know what the mentality of being here or being with.
It's like when you're trying to create the business around something like that, and everyone's calling it one thing. When you're trying to legitimize a business, there's no definition of what it is if people who are doing it don't even know what it is. So it's like it can't be taken legitimate. It's like going in with a business plan and going, I don't know what it is. Want to give you some money for it? You don't even know what the fuck it is. Why am I going to give you money for it?
Right. And we'll even deal with some advertisers who will say, well, we don't really do podcasts. We don't advertise on podcasts. And we're like, we're not a podcast. Yeah, but you're like, oh dear God, I don't know. It's going to take some time, I think.
So I think obviously, and there's so many, and most of them are absolute shit. I mean, there's some great ones out there, and some podcasts that are really fucking awesome and hilarious. We're gonna have a girl on later. What the hell's her last name? It sounds like a shit in it. Pajitsky? Christina Pajitsky?
No, it's not.
It's not Pajitsky. I can't say it.
Pajitsky?
They do with Tom Segura, and they do Your Mom's House. It's a podcast, and it's fucking hilarious. They're a married couple, and it's just fun to hear a married couple who just basically sit back and you hear the conversations that a married couple
in a funny way.
Yeah, that
everybody can relate to.
And they can say whatever they want. And it's not married couples arguing. It's married couples just... I'd love to hang out with them. It's like have them over as that couple you hang out with.
Yeah.
And Christina's coming in. She's going to help us judge Stay or Go and then hang out with us for a half hour. So
cool.
But they do a podcast, and it's an excellent podcast. But most of them are absolute shit.
Tinny.
Sound quality, content. And so it's lessened the thing for everybody else to be taken legitimate.
It is true.
And so I think the same things happen.